Shalom, all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone by Shem Rakak. My name is Yakalba from Plain Tables Camp in Philly. Now, the Russians are known in the Bible as Gog and Magog. Go to Ezekiel 38th chapter, and it says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army." This is speaking of the Third World War, which we're on the beginning stages of. Right now it's a proxy war, and using Ukraine as a battlefield. All right, the battlefield is going to expand into the east, the so-called Middle East. Horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, meaning the army, the tanks, airplanes, drones, all the weapons of war, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Now, this lesson is mainly based around Persia and Gog and Magog, which are the Russians. All right, Russians would be Edomites here. The Russians have the land mass of Gog and Magog. All right, and Persia is Iran. When you go into the history of Iran, the former name was Persia. They changed the name to Iran, I believe in the 70s or 60s or 50s, somewhere around at that time. They changed the name from Persia to Iran. All right. So there's a cooperation between Gog and Magog and Persia, or Iran. First, before I show you that, this came out either today or a day or two ago. It says Putin's global disaster dare over arms aid as Zelensky blames West's indecisions for setbacks. That's the title of that. And he announced on their website, RT, Russia Today, more powerful armaments coming, says Moscow to Ukrainian troops. And they show those short-range missiles, and they're signing for air units have been hit by its aviation and artillery units. So you can see Russia's mounting up for a large offensive. That's what I've been in Ukraine. That's what I've been hearing. Where we at? It says Moscow warns West of global tragedy. Should its territory be threatened, Russia will retaliate with more powerful weapons, the Duma speaker has said. All right. It says, taking into consideration the technological superiority of Russian weapons, right now they're just using hypersonic missiles and using some of their capabilities. They haven't unleashed the full force of the Russian military yet, which is known as Gog and Magog in the Bible. All right. Foreign politicians making such decisions need to understand this could end up being a global tragedy that will destroy their countries. You basically say, if they feel threatened, they're going to start launching their nuclear arsenal. That's going to be at the very end. Because when that happens, everybody's going to launch their nuclear weapons, and they're going to destroy each other. All right. So it's not going to happen yet. Still, the implant has to come along. So but we're right there, and then it gives you the because what this is. Right before Ramstein meeting on January 20th, the U.S. announced a new defensive aid package for Ukraine to the tune of $2.5 billion. I think they already gave like $100 billion, right, or something like that. So they're going to keep supplying those. United States, NATO, Western European countries are going to keep supplying those weapons to keep the fight going. All right. Now here's the union between Iran, or Persia, and Gog and Magog, which are the Russians. So Iran threatens to designate all EU members all EU members' armies as terrorists. Tehran warning comes after the European Parliament urged blacklisting the Revolutionary Guard. All right, so that's basically, I believe, Iran's army. All right. Unfortunately, we witnessed the issuance of the draft of an emotional, harsh, unprofessional resolution by the European Parliament, which is in conflict with political rationality and civility. The minister said, noting that should the EU follow through with recommendations, it would end up shooting itself in the foot. So they basically trying to cut Iran off from the global market by saying that their very army that they use for defense and offense is illegitimate. Let's read that again. Blacklisting. So I don't know exactly what blacklisting entails, but that's a major. That sounds big. So they trying to say they're not legitimate. Let's look up blacklisting. Put on a blacklist. Okay. A list of people or things that are regarded as unacceptable or untrustworthy and should be excluded or avoided. Oh, so that means if an incident happens and their army has anything to do with it, like an investigation to find out facts or whatever, that's just one aspect. You know, they'll reject everything all their findings. All right, that's big. Declaring someone's army illegitimate. Let's do that again. Untrustworthy. Yeah, illegitimate. All right. So I'll put that link in the description box to see more of the union between Russia and Iran. It says Russia and Pakistan agree major energy deal. All right. And I believe Pakistan will fall under Elam. And I believe Elam came out of Persia, if I'm not mistaken. They're a different tribe of the Persians. They're related. All right. Like you have India, Pakistan, Persia, they're all related. All right. They have different cultural differences, religion differences, but they're the same, come from the same genus. All right, Elam, where we at? Remember, terrorists. Says oil and gas exports from sanctions hit country will help the world's fifth most populous nation meet its demands. Russia and Pakistan agree major energy deal. Yeah, so they're working together. Says Iran signs up with Russia-led free trade zone media. The Eurasian Economic Union ensures the free movement of goods, services, and capital between its member states. All right. So the point is that Ezekiel 38th chapter is going to come to pass. Right now, they're economically binding themselves together. So when it's time for war, all right, they're going to be with each other. Russia's going to act as a guard to those nations. All right. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. The 7th verse, be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, for thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. All right. So Russia has the most powerful military might, and they're going to act as a guard to these said nations and more. All right, because the Syrians, which they're it's a mixture of Arabs, you got some of our people mixed up in there, and actual Aram or Syria in the Greek. All right, they're acting as a guard to them. They have their missile defenses, I believe, Russia in Syria. So there will be like a mixture of, that's some Arabs. Arab means mixed. All right. So you say, well, Ishmael, you got in there, Mangold, Aram or Syria mingled in there. I got some Edomites mixed up in there too. But Russia is acting as a guard unto them as we speak. So this prophecy is coming to pass, and it will further come to pass as the war increases over there in the east. All right, I think I have one more. So the energy deal that Pakistan has is a pipeline. The pipeline, liquefied natural gas, it looks like. Says the pipeline would transport both regasified gas and pipeline gas from various sources, including Iran, Turkmenistan, according to Shulginov. The approach of the implementation of such projects has to be comprehensive. It means not only a pipeline but also a source of gas for it, and we are currently discussing the project both from the point of view of transporting regasified gas and pipeline gas, the minister said. All right, and we got Pakistan, India, Iran. They come out of Elam. We look up Genesis the 14th chapter. All right, because not everybody in the east are Ishmael. Some of them are mixed Arab. Arab means mixed, and some of them are Elam. Elam is has broken up into several countries. All right, over there in the east. And it came to pass. I'm still recording, right? And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, and Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations. These made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and Bersha, king of Gomorrah, and Shinab, king of Admah. All right, so we look up Chedorlaomer, king of Elam. You got H3540. All right. You got the king of Elam defeated by Abraham, which are the Persians. They called themselves They changed their name to Persia, or Paras, I think you said, or Paras in Aramaic / Hebrew. You have, says, an early Persian king. All right, an early. Hope we can see that. Early Persian king. So originally the Persians were known as Elam. All right. And then they have adopted the name Persia. All right. And they split apart, for cultural and religious reasons. Now, different tribes, just like we had 12 tribes in Israel, you had different, factions within these other nations also. They split apart and moved to different lands for various reasons. All right. So that wraps this lesson up. The Gog and Magog, which are the Russians, are acting as a guard, all right, to Persia, Ethiopia, Persia and its various nations, Ethiopia and its various nations, Libya and its various nations, and we'll see more cooperation between these countries as we move on. But right now, it seems Elam / Persia is has a lot of projects and cooperation with Gog and Magog. All right. So hope you were edified. Shalom. I'll play this video. Going out.